Hey folks, it's Joel Ellison with Pinnacle Mountain Gunsmithing. Today I have for you a very special, very odd revolver. Well, for some people it may be odd, other people it might not be. This is a Nagant 1895 revolver. This particular one is dated 1930 and is marked for the Tula Arsenal. And it has been refurbished since the end of the Second World War. It also has a complete holster. We'll be taking another look at that here in a sec. And also a spare cylinder that comes with it. This particular cylinder is in 32 ACP. The original cartridge for this revolver was 762 by 38. Kind of a weird one. It involves a gas seal. But in any case, let me back up and get a little history here and a little context. This particular revolver, as you can guess by the name, was adopted by the Russian military in 1895. In the succeeding years, they have had a couple of revolutions, Second World War, and by 1930, this revolver was looking a little long in the tooth. They tried to replace it with the Tokarev pistol, but it has been they had some difficulties there. In any case, there are a lot of other videos about the history of this revolver and its use in the Second World War and the First World War. But in any case, let's get into first the basic manual of arms of this particular piece. It is a gate loading revolver, and here's our gate. Here on the right side, you would load in your seven cartridges from this side, and you can close the gate up. There's just a little biasing spring on the side here, and watch what happens when I pull back the hammer. Watch the cylinder. See it go forward like that? That's creating a gas seal on this between the cylinder and the barrel. And that kind of gets every last little tiny bit of velocity out of the cartridge. The cartridge is not much to brag on to begin with. Single action trigger pull on this particular example I've measured to be about 8 pounds. Yes, 8 pounds. And double action trigger pull, well, my gauge maxes out at 12 pounds. And it doesn't register on it. I would say it's around 14, 15 pounds-ish. Give or take. But in any case, let me get you a little bit closer view of the action here, and we'll do a bit of a breakdown on this particular revolver. It comes apart in a very unique way that I've rarely seen, and we'll see exactly how few springs are actually in this thing. Thanks for joining us. Stand by. Hey folks, we're back. One more point about how to load and unload this revolver. Once you have fired all 7 of your cartridges, or however many you want, you can flip open the loading gate like that, and you can do a little bit of a twist on your ejector rod, pull it out, pull that little collar around, and once you line up the cylinder, you can eject out each cartridge individually, one at a time, rotating the cylinder this way and only that direction. It seems a little slow and awkward, but because it is. In any case, let's go ahead and do a basic field strip. We would need the rod forward, or the ejector rod forward, turn it to the side like you're going to unload the revolver. And once you do that, you can kind of pull up on the ears of this rotating rod here. Here we go. Give that a little wiggle. Make sure your ejector rod is all the way over. And you can pull out the cylinder axis. And that allows us to roll the cylinder right out. This is the original cylinder for it. And you can see it is, on the face, it is serialized to this particular piece. You're going to find that serial number on a lot of parts because they are easily interchangeable well, I don't know, they might need a little fitting if you do need to replace a part on one of these. The little axis pin spring, this is what restores it back after the trigger has been let go. But this plug comes out. There's just a little bit of a knob on there, and that fits into that hole when you want to reassemble it. To take this ejector rod off, it's pretty easy. Just take a small screwdriver and undo this little screw right here. And once that's out, you have a tiny screw, a spring, and your rod comes out. Getting that collar off would involve taking off the barrel, which of course I'm not going to do, especially not today. I see, in order to get the loading gate off, I'm going to first close it. And I'm just going to undo this little screw down here. That's all it does. And that's just your little biasing screw. Biasing spring, I mean. That holds the loading gate either open or shut. And we can remove this one little screw up here on the loading gate. That's its pivot point. And loading gate comes off. And our biasing spring comes off as well. That's just a simple flat spring. Loading gate is a little more complicated than it looks at first. It does have to go in a specific direction. And there is a threaded part on it, and that's of course the part that goes forward when you do go to reassemble this. Alright, now for the rest of the Revolver. It's pretty straightforward. We can use our same screwdriver, and we can undo this screw right here. Once we do, that just comes right out. This is very easy for a field armorer to do, and we can just give the side panel a little wiggle, and this whole panel just lifts right off. Now you can see a little bit better on, oops, excuse me, cat incoming, yep, there we go. Now you can see why we have these little panels at the front and back strap of the grip. That's, I guess, so your fingers don't freeze to it in the extreme cold weather? I don't know, they didn't ask me. Yeah, there are just a couple of screws holding, whoops, excuse me, cat right here. There we go, here we go. Here's just a couple of screws holding these grip panels on. You can figure out how to get those off. And of course, the side plate itself is serialized to this particular revolver. And now we can get to the interior of the gun. We have just one big flat, one V-spring, and that powers both the hammer and the trigger. Boom, there we are cocked. We have this block going forward, and also the trigger has a little nub on the top, and that also helps push the cylinder forward to interface with the forcing cone. And we also see here our hand and the window, and that just lets the cylinder rotate properly. And that's one, you can see here why this particular revolver has a very heavy trigger pull. Well, one reason anyways, well, not just the pushing the cylinder forward every shot, but also because the trigger return and the hammer are both powered by this one spring. Military primers tend to be very, very hard, especially Russian ones, and you really have to whack them in order to get the gun to go off reliably. And that's one thing these revolvers were good at, being reliable. Once you get this spring out, you can pretty much just take the whole rest of the guts out, and let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to turn the camera off because this sometimes involves a little bit of adult language, so I'm not making these videos for kids, of course, but I'd rather keep it family friendly. So, in any case, see y'all in a sec. Stand by. And we're back. Here we have our main spring, and you can see it is serialized to this Revolver 2. There is a little bit of stud that holds it in on the back end, right back here in the frame. Otherwise, it's pretty straightforward to take everything else out. Without the spring in there, we can just kind of wiggle the hammer, and it slides right out. We have our double action sear right there. Some of these revolvers were first manufactured in single action only, which honestly makes a lot more sense. But after the war, they were all refurbished to this new double and single action system. Once we lower the trigger forward again, our hand comes right out, just lifts right off. And then we can just do a little wheel, hold our mouths right, and there's our trigger. Now, that's it. That's the little nub, and that's our sear surface back here. I don't know how well you can see that, but yeah, right back here, that's our sear surface. And we have a couple of pieces. This is like a camming piece. At least that's what I'm going to call it. That comes right out. And this is the little piece that just pushes the cylinder forward, or the back of the cylinder forward. And it comes up, and yep, that just kind of rides on a little stud back there. We have a screw here. That's what's holding the grip panel on the right side. And we also have another screw here. Once we remove it, yes, I know this is very riveting watching, but once we have that off, this whole trigger guard can swing down and come right off. And it's just held on with a little stud here at the bottom of the frame, and it's also serialized with the last 2 digits of the serial number. There's lots of little stamps and marks on here. This revolver was refurbished at the end of the Second World War, and yeah, if I pull the camera back a little bit here, you can see all the parts. That's pretty much everything. Oh, here's our side panel, of course. Cylinder's plunger. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. Let me get you a little better camera shot. Stand by. All right, here we have Powder inspecting our results. And yeah, that's the whole revolver pretty much taken apart. I've left the grip panels installed, and of course just the little lanyard ring. That's just a little lanyard. No, not a huge deal. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put this back together, and we'll share some final thoughts. Stand by. So, as we think about the Nagant revolver, we find ourselves as modern shooters asking the question, why on earth would an army adopt such a gosh awful convoluted revolver? And why would they keep it so long? Well, the answer is mainly just the scale of the Russian and later Soviet military. You're not just buying, we're used to thinking as consumers just buying one gun. They're thinking about buying millions, yes, plural, millions of guns. And they need them really quick, really right now, and that's what their factories are set up to produce. In any case, this gun served long and well, and was easy for armors to fix when it did break, and it could withstand the harsh environments that these guns were meant to operate in. In any case, this particular one is going to be for sale at the gun show in Greenville, at the Greenville Convention Center, January 18th and 19th. Come see us, come say hi, and if you'd like to support us, we have many other guns for sale as well, and yeah, we'll be happy to serve. If you feel free to call us or email us with any of your gunsmithing questions, and whether it's about old historic revolvers or anything else. next couple of videos, we'll be looking at some more World War II era handguns, and we'll be delving into their history and disassembly and reassembly and some points about them. In any case, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, we'll see you next time. Bye.